I know I'm in for an adventure the second I step off the train in Venice. What I don't know is that I'm about to experience one of the most embarrassing moments of my life here. For every bit of charm, there's a little trick waiting, and I, of course, fall right into it, quite literally. I'm Alex, and I'm in Venice, also known as the City of Canals, and I can see why. I'm standing at Santa Lucia Station, staring out at the Grand Canal like a deer in headlights. Gondolas glide by, water taxis zigzag across the canal, and me? I have no clue how to get to my hotel. I have a map, but Venice laughs in the face of my map. Google Maps, useless here. The GPS goes, nope, you're on your own, pal. Every street seems to look the same. Narrow, cobblestone paths with colorful, slightly crumbling buildings that lean in like they've been gossiping for centuries. It's charming, sure, but when you're lost, it feels like Venice is playing a game with you. And Venice is winning. And did I mention there are bridges? Over 400 bridges, in fact. Impressive, right? Well, not when I'm dragging a suitcase behind me and every 5 seconds I have to haul it up another flight of stairs. My arms are burning and I'm barely an hour in. To top it off, I'm pretty sure I've passed the same gelato shop 3 times. But hey, at least I know where to get dessert. After checking into my hotel, I head to Piazza San Marco, Venice's grandest and busiest square. I know I'm in the right place when the number of pigeons quadruples, and the tourists multiply like they're respawning from the Basilica. Ah, the Basilica di San Marco. It's stunning. The gold mosaics shimmer in the sunlight, practically glowing while the 5 domes rise up like they're trying to touch the sky. Marble columns and arches line the roof, with statues of saints and lions perched like they're watching over the city. Built back in the 11th century, it's been through everything, from processions to power struggles, and somehow still stands like it's seen it all. It's the kind of place that makes you stop and stare, like time slows down for just a second. You can practically feel the history pulsing through it, like the past is just beneath the surface, waiting to tell its story. Now I'm heading to Cannaregio. This is a hidden gem spot. Fewer tourists, more locals. It's the kind of place where old men sit outside cafes, sipping espressos and judging everyone who walks by. I'm pretty sure they judge me when I almost knock over a flower pot trying to get a cool picture of some adorably quaint laundry hanging across the alley. Ah, life as a content creator. Here's the thing about Venice, you can't just look at it, you have to feel it. It's in the narrow canals that feel too small to exist, in the crumbling bricks that somehow seem romantic, and in the smells of the sea mixed with the frying fish from some tiny kitchen nearby. Oh, and speaking of fish, I need food, because nothing says I'm blending in like stopping for a spritz and some cicchetti, Venice's snack-sized bites of deliciousness. I find this tiny hole-in-the-wall bar where the menu is entirely in Italian. I have no idea what I'm ordering, but I point at a few things and hope for the best. Baccalà mantecato shows up, basically whipped cod on crispy bread. And let me tell you, I have one of those "where has this been all my life" moments. Anchovies, polenta, and some weirdly delicious squid ink concoction follow, and suddenly I'm not just a tourist, I'm a cicchetti connoisseur. The spritz helps too. After lunch, I start to walk off my food coma, and that's when I stumble upon the Peggy Guggenheim collection, which houses some seriously impressive modern art. We're talking Picasso, Pollock, and even Dali. It's a surreal contrast. The ancient, waterlogged city outside and the bold, abstract paintings inside. I'm not expecting to find that in Venice, but then again, Venice is full of surprises. By now, I'm getting the hang of this city, or at least I think I am. I even start to feel a little bit romantic. I mean, how could you not? The gondolas drifting by, the soft glow of the street lamps reflecting off the water, the distant accordion music. It's the stuff of rom-coms. But as I stand on a tiny bridge gazing down at the canal, a thought hits me out of nowhere. This would be a great place to have a woman by my side. Yep, Venice will do that to you. It's basically a living, breathing Cupid. Unfortunately, Cupid forgets to send me a date. So here I am, walking, feeling all dreamy, when I hear a soft splash. At first, I think it's just the canal doing its watery thing, but then I look down and I see it. My left foot completely submerged in a puddle. 1 second you're walking on dry land, and the next you're ankle deep in mystery water. Classic Venice. As I try to discreetly step out of the puddle and fail, my shoe is now soaked, I hear someone shouting in Italian. I turn around and see an elderly Venetian man waving his arms. "Attenzione," he says, pointing at the ground. My brain scrambles to remember what that means. I look down, and then I realize the water isn't just from high tide. Nope, it's from a leaking canal-side drain. I've just stepped into a puddle of stagnant canal runoff. Awesome! Now, not only am I standing in Venice's finest back alley water, but I also have an audience watching me try to salvage whatever dignity I have left. Venice has this thing called acqua alta, or high water, which is just a fancy way of saying Venice floods sometimes, so good luck with that. It usually happens in winter, but if you're lucky or unlucky like me, you can catch it at other times of the year. Locals use platforms to walk above the flooded streets, but as the clueless tourist I am, I miss the memo. At this point I'm thinking, can this get any worse? Spoiler alert, yes, it can. The Venetian man pulls out what looks like a plastic bag. No, wait, plastic boots. He's offering them to me. They're neon green and about as stylish as neon green plastic boots can be. But who am I to argue? So here I am, in one of the world's most beautiful cities, wearing neon green boots, soaked shoes in hand, while a cat watches from the shadows, clearly judging all my life choices. You know what's funny? Earlier in the day, I walked by a shop selling these ridiculous plastic boots, and I think, who on earth would need those? Answer, me. I would need those. By the time night falls, I've dried off mostly, and the city is glowing under the soft light of the street lamps. Venice at night is pure magic. The crowds thin out and the canals become mirrors, reflecting the lights in the buildings. The air is cooler and the city seems to exhale. The gondoliers hum old Italian songs as they drift down the canals, and for a moment, all the chaos of the day fades away. I find a tiny cafe tucked away in a corner and sit down with a glass of Prosecco. The waiter, seeing my plastic boots and slightly bedraggled look I'm rocking, gives me a sympathetic smile. "Acqua alta?" he asks with a knowing grin. "Yeah," I say, raising my glass. "Venice got me." And as I sit there, listening to the distant sound of the waves lapping against the buildings, I can't help but laugh. Venice is unpredictable, wild, and sometimes a little too wet. But that's what makes it unforgettable. 1 minute you're lost in its beauty, and the next you're ankle deep in canal water. But that's the magic of it all. The surprises, the mishaps, the adventure. As I take another sip of wine, I look out at the canal and think, next time, Venice, maybe don't flood my shoes, okay? But honestly, I wouldn't change a thing, because Venice, with all its quirks and floods, has a way of staying with you. And as I pack up my neon boots and get ready to leave, I know one thing for sure, I'll be back, preferably with dry feet. Are you planning an adventure in Venice? Let me know in the comments. And if you enjoyed this video, don't forget to like and subscribe for more. Until next time, keep exploring, stay curious, and adventure aloud.